Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me today for the Getting Started with Vertical Response demo. My name is Jill, and I'm the Training and Education Manager here at Vertical Response. And today I'm going to take you through some of the things that you can do with your new account. So first of all, this is what you're going to see in your Vertical Response account once you log in. We've set this up to make it easy for you to manage the data you're going to have once you start sending out your emails. So the account is broken up into different sections. So right now we are on the home page, and from the home page you're able to access any part of your account. So from here I can access the email section, and this is where you can set up a new email as well as access any draft emails that you've set up in the past. So emails you've created but you haven't sent out yet, you can still access those. Once you do send out your email, it moves into the reporting section, and from here you'll be able to see all the great information about how your email went. So you're going to see the opens, the clicks, the bounces, the unsubscribes, and this section here is going to give you all of that data. The list section, probably self-explanatory. You can store your lists here, and I'm going to go over this in more details in just a few minutes. At the bottom of the page are some add-on services. So we do offer postcards. These are actual postcards sent through the USPS. These are not e-cards. So if you are interested in doing some direct mail marketing, we do have that available for you. Postcards are priced separately from sending emails, and basically you just purchase the number of postcards that you need. We also offer surveys. Again, this is an add-on service. So if you needed to ask questions of your customers or potential customers, you can use our survey tool for that. And surveys are also priced separately from emails. These are a monthly subscription, and you can turn them on and turn them off as you need to at the top of your account. So moving to the top, we do have this blue navigation bar, and this also gives you access to the rest of your account. You'll notice as I mouse over different tabs, I'll have a drop-down menu with a different information in there. I'm going to give you a quick demo of a couple things in this toolbar, and then what I'm going to do is show you how to create and send out an email. So first of all, we have an events tool, and the events tool will allow you to create an event page for any type of event that you have coming up. So if you have a conference, if you have a fundraiser, if you have a party for your work and you need to manage attendance, you can use the event tool for that. And the event tool will give you the option of filling in the information about when and where the event is taking place. You'll also be able to set up pricing and tickets. So if you're selling tickets, you can set that up here, and if you have different pricing levels, you can do that. Any tickets that you sell will be managed through PayPal. So the money will go straight to you when you're selling the tickets. It doesn't come to Vertical Response and then we give it to you. You don't have to sell tickets. If you just want to manage your attendees, you can also use this tool for that. So if you're giving your tickets away for free, you can just manage how many people are going to be at your event. You'll be able to add additional information about the event. And then once your event is live, you can share it on social media and also send out emails to invite people to come to your event or to sign up for your event, and that is all done through your Vertical Response account. It is free to create an event account, so I definitely encourage you to check that out, especially if you have some events coming up. We also have a social tab here, and the social tab allows you to manage your social media through your Vertical Response account. So this will allow you to create a single post, or you can have a campaign, so multiple posts that go to Facebook, your personal profile or your company page, Twitter or LinkedIn. And LinkedIn. You can post to all of them. You can schedule when you want your post to go out. We even have a content library, so you don't have to think of everything to go out with your posts. We do have some links that can get pulled in as part of the post that you use. And then once your posts are live, we will give you information about how people are engaging in your post. So for example, I had 3 comments on this one, and I could always go in and answer them. This one I have a comment that I haven't responded to, so there's a little red dot. And I can respond to any of these comments in here if I wish. just by coming in here and typing a response. So I don't have to log into my Facebook account to answer the questions that might come up from my posts or any of the engagement. So it makes it easy for you to manage social media all from one area. Excuse me. So let's go take a look at some tools here. And I'm going to go to the library under this Tools tab here. And the library is where you can upload images to use in your email campaign. Vertical Response is going to host them for you, so you just need to upload them into your account. So for example, if you have a logo, I have a couple logos here, you can use those in your email, and I would definitely encourage you to do that. Also, any other images you want to use within the body of your email, you can upload those as well. To upload an image, come over here to the menu on the left-hand side and click Upload Images, and then you can browse your computer to upload your image that you want to use. It does need to be saved as a JPEG or a GIF, and then you'll just upload it into your account. Now, if you know that you want to use images in your email, but you don't have one that you specifically want to use, we do have a gallery of images. And if you look over here on the left-hand menu again, if you click on Search Gallery Images, we have 75,000 free images that you can use for your emails. We have them broken down into different categories here to make it easy for you to be able to find the type of images you want to use. But you can also do a search for whatever you want. So I'm going to search for San Francisco. This is where Vertical Response is located. It'll come back with some images, maybe a couple pages of results, and then you'll see some thumbnails. If you mouse over the thumbnails, you'll get a bigger view of what your image is going to look like. And then you'll see there's two different sizes available. Generally speaking, you're going to want to use the small size if it's for the body of your email. The large one is a little big. We do have an image editing tool, which I'll show you in just a second, but generally you're going to want to start with the small one. So I'm just going to click on the link that says small, and that will pop that picture of Alcatraz into my library. Now, if I need to edit any of the images that I've uploaded, I just need to mouse over them and click on the little pencil. This will bring up Pixlr. We partnered with Pixlr to give you these tools, and there's all kinds of things that you can do with Pixlr, and I'm only going to show you a couple things, but I want to point out that you can add text to your image. So if you wanted to add a caption, maybe I wanted to point out this was Alcatraz, or if you have some kind of special sale or deal going on that you want to put over your image, you can actually do that with this tool. Under Adjustment is where you're going to find most of the tools you need to make edits to your image. There's, again, all kinds of things. I'm just going to show you a couple. So you can crop your image. If I wanted a picture that was more of Alcatraz and less blue, I could crop it. I could rotate my image. So for example, if this was something I had uploaded from my camera and it was turned, I could use this tool to flip it the right direction. And resize. And resize is probably the one that most people need to use. So even though I started with the small size image, it's still going to be just a little big for my email. So I'm going to resize this. And the thing to notice here is this Keep Proportions box. This is turned on by default. And what this is going to let me do is change the width of my image. And the Keep Proportions will automatically fix the height for me so that my image doesn't get all distorted and squished looking. So you'll notice as I type, the height just changes all by itself. Click Apply, and now my image has been edited. You can do anything you want. Once you're done editing your image, click Save in the top left corner. Click Save again, and this is going to put your edited image in the library. Now you get two options here. You can overwrite the image that was there initially, so then you'll only have one version of the image and it will be the edited one. Or you could save this edited image as a new one, so you'll have the original in your library and then this edited version. I only need one picture of Alcatraz, so I'm just going to overwrite the one that was there. And there we go, there's my picture. So let's go over here to the list section, and as you can see, there's a lot of things that are found under the list section. And I'm going to go over a couple of these before I jump into uploading a list. So first of all, we have Optin Forms in our system, and the Optin Form will allow your business to grow the mailing list. So what you can do with the Optin Form is collect information from people who come to your website or blog or Facebook, and all that information will be added to your Vertical Response account in a list. You can collect any data you like. If you come over here to where it says design your form, you can set up whatever fields you want. Mine has email address, first name, last name, but you can even create custom fields on this so you can collect data that's specific to your business or organization and then use that when you're creating your emails or creating your lists. It is free to create this. Once you go through all of these steps, oh, and by the way, you can set this up to be any color you like. It does not have to be this weird blue color. Once you go through all these steps and you get to the publish page, we give you the HTML code, and then you can put it wherever people might find your company. So again, your website, you can paste this into your website, into a blog, onto Facebook, and then as they sign up, it goes to a list in your account, and you can mail to them. We also have a segmentation tool, and the segmentation tool is one of my favorite things that we have, and this allows you to break your lists up based on just about anything you want to break them up on. Once you have some lists in the account, you can use the segment tool to break it up based on any data in the list. So for example, if you have postal addresses included in your mailing list, you could create lists of people who live in a certain area. So if you're having a conference or some kind of event that you want to invite people to, you can create lists based on where people live and invite them to your event wherever it is. But you do have to have that information in there. Also, any information from your opt-in form can be used by your segmentation tool. So for example, if you're a winery and you collect information on the opt-in form about your recipient's favorite wine, you can then create lists based on that data. So you could have a list for people who like Chardonnay or for people who like Pinot Noir. And then you can send them targeted emails, which tend to get better results. Also, once you start mailing through our system, the segmentation tool will allow you to create lists based on responses to your email. So you could create a list of people who've opened your emails over the last 3 months, or people who are clicking on specific links in your emails. And so it gives you a lot of power in creating lists so that you can send out specific information to specific people on your list. And again, this is free. It's just built into your account, and I would definitely encourage you to check that out. So let's go over here to the mailing list section. So the mailing list section has a couple things going on here. First of all accounts have a master list. The master list is a record of all unique email addresses in your account. So it doesn't matter how many times an address might be in one of these lists. It will be in your master list just one time. You can use this as a list. You can mail to it. You can use it with the segmentation tool. And it will also come into play a little bit later when we start talking about pricing. But as I said, you can have as many lists as you like in your account. So whatever it takes for you to manage your data, that's up to you. You can have one list. You can have 1,000. It's entirely up to you how you want to manage it. So let's go ahead and upload a list here. So there's two ways. I can click this tab here that says New List, or from this drop-down menu in the blue navigation bar, I can click New. Either way, these are going to take me to the exact same place. It just depends where you are in the account when you need to upload a list. If you happen to be on the list page, you can click the tab. If you're anywhere else, just mouse over here and go to the New. So I'm going to click New, and this brings up the first step here where you need to agree to our terms of service. And essentially what you're agreeing to is what's in this box right here. Basically, Vertical Response has some pretty strict policies about mailing lists. They do need to be opted in, meaning everybody on your list has opted in to receive emails from your company. We do not allow any kind of purchased or rented list to be mailed through our system, and we never allow harvested addresses to go out. So just make sure that everyone on your list has in some way given you permission to mail to them, and you'll be all set. I'm going to go ahead and click Continue, and then this will drop me right into where I can set up my list. So the very first thing you're going to do is give your list a name. The name is just for your use. Nobody's going to see this, so just call it whatever will work best for you. I'm going to call this but you can call it anything you like. Now there's 3 ways to create your list. First, you can create it one member at a time. So that would be where you would type in the email address and any additional information that you had. If you have like a guest book at your cash wrap, for example, where people can sign it, this is probably the way you'll need to enter that information. We also have an integration with Gmail, Hotmail, and Yahoo, so we can pull over contacts that might be in one of these email services. The one thing you need to pay attention to in this is that you will only want to bring over contacts who've signed up to receive emails in some way. Since these are all email programs, they tend to put email addresses in the contact list to ensure delivery so that emails go to your inbox, which is great. That's what you want them to do. But some of those addresses may not be people who've signed up with your company to get emails. So just clean that list up if you choose that option. The third way to create a list is probably the way that most people do it, and that is to upload a list from an external file. So wherever you have your information stored, Outlook, if you have it in Act or FileMaker, or wherever you store your data, you can export it and then upload it into your Vertical Response account. If you have it in Excel, it needs to be saved as a CSV file, comma separated values, and generally speaking, if you're exporting your data, it will either already be a CSV or when you go to export it, it will be one of the options that you can choose. It's a very common file type, so your list is probably already that way. If you're not sure, go ahead and open it up, click File, and then Save As, and you're going to see File Type. It's a little drop-down menu. Just find CSV in there, and you'll be all set. So I'm going to upload my list. And go ahead and click Next. So this first page is our data matching page. Now, what you're going to be doing on this page is telling our system what it is that you're uploading. If the spreadsheet that you're uploading has column headers, so there's a column that says first name, last name, email address, something like that, our system will take those column headers and match those up with fields in your account. And that's what's happened on the first two rows of data here. But if you don't have column headers, it's fine. You don't have to add them in there, or you can just tell our system what it is. So this first row here is the email address. If I didn't have it already matched up, I just click on the drop-down menu and go to email address. This one's first name, so I would click on that. This one's last name, so I just find last name. So this is the data that's going to be uploaded into the list, into the account. If there's information in the list you do not want to include, just click Do Not Import, and then our system will ignore it. You can also create a custom field if you want to upload information specific to your business. Again, if you're a winery, you can upload wine types. If you're a nonprofit, people who are donors or people who are volunteers, you could store that type of data in your list. To set up a custom field, just find the field you want, click on the drop-down menu, go to New Custom Field, and then call it whatever you want to call it. Now, the reason that you would want to include more than just an email address in your mailing list is for two reasons. First of all, once your email's gone out and you're looking at the reporting, this data becomes part of your reporting, or it can if you include it. So in addition to looking at who's opening your email based on an email address, you can see it based on company, on interest in your company, anything from your mailing list, which will give you a lot more insight into the people who are looking at your email. Also, any of the data that's in the mailing list can be merged into your email to personalize it. So you probably see this yourself a lot in your own inbox. You'll get an email that has your first name in it. So if you wanted to personalize with a first name, you need to have a first name field in the list, and then our system can pull that into the email and personalize it. But you can also pull in custom fields or any other data that you want to pull into the email. Anything in the list can be merged into your email. And I'll show you how to do that in just a couple minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and click Next. And now our system's going to start uploading this list. And there's a couple of things that we're looking at here. So first of all, we're going to make sure that the addresses are formatted correctly. So they have an @ sign and they have a .com sign. Also, once you start mailing through our system, if you have any addresses that have bounced or unsubscribed, our system's going to pull those out during the upload so that your list is as clean as we can get it. So you'll notice my list, I have 3 addresses that have bounced, and so they were pulled out of my list. But if you want to see the ones that were pulled out, just click the Download CSV link here, and you'll be able to see the reason they were pulled out of the list. So if we go back here to mailing lists, here's the list that I just uploaded, all ready to go. So we have a list and we have an image. Let's go take a look at setting up an email. So I'm going to go over here to the email tab. And just like creating a list, you can set up a new email either from this tab if you happen to be here or in the drop-down menu here. So I'm going to go this way. Again, either way drops you into the same place. So this is going to drop me into the workflow where I can set up, design, and send out my email. So we're going to go through these. This first step is the setup step, and the setup step is basically things that are required by the CAN-SPAM law. So first of all, the very first box here, you're going to give your email a name. And this is just like naming your list. It's just so you know what the content is. So you can call your email anything that you like. Our system's going to call it the time and date that you set it up, but you call it whatever's going to work best for you. So the next 4 boxes are the things required by law, and we're going to go through those here. The first 2, the from label and the subject line, are probably the 2 most important pieces in your email. And you're probably thinking right now, oh, you're crazy, Jill. What about my great content? Okay, the content in your email is really important for your business, but in order for people to see the content that you have in your email, they need to open it. And what gets people to open the email, at least initially, is the from label and subject line. So you want to spend a little bit of time thinking about what your recipients are going to see in their inbox so that they'll be compelled to want to open your email. The from label needs to be the sender of your email. That's what the CAN-SPAM law says. Generally speaking, that should be your company name. And you'll notice I already have a company name filled in here because up here under the account section, I have a company name filled in, and our system will pull that in for you automatically, and you can use that. You can change this, but as I said, generally people will recognize a company name before a person's name, so you'd probably get a better open rate using a company rather than a salesperson's name or your CEO's name or something like that. The subject line is what will get people to open the email. So the from label tells them who's sending it, and then the subject line tells them why they should open the email. So you want your subject line to be something that's interesting and fun and compelling to get them to want to open your email. But it has to pertain to the content of your email. That's what the CAN-SPAM law says. You can't put something tricky in the subject line that has nothing to do with the email just to try to get people to open it. The other thing to keep in mind when creating your subject line is that your email, or most email programs will show about 40 to 50 characters in the subject line. We have that right here. So it can't be really long. So there's a lot to keep in mind when you're creating your subject line. I'm going to fill something in here. So you'll also notice once you get to about 50, our system is going to turn red right here, just to let you know that some people may not be seeing anything past this point. At the bottom of the email, we add a footer, and again, with things required by the law. So first of all, you must have an unsubscribe mechanism in your email. That is required by the CAN-SPAM law. Vertical Response is going to handle this for you. So if somebody clicks unsubscribe, you're going to see this as part of the reporting in your email. And we're going to mark this in your mailing list so that you're not mailing to these addresses again. You also have to have a valid postal address for the sender of the email. So the sender is the from label. So you have to have a valid postal address, again, required by law. And again, you can see this is filled out for me already because, again, under account, I have a postal address, and our system will pull that in automatically. So what I would recommend, before you send out your next email, go into this account section, fill in the company name, fill in the postal address, and then most of this page will be taken care of for you. And you can spend a little extra time writing a great subject line. Otherwise, you have to come in here every time and fill in your postal address, and you can't go past this page without one. The very last box here is a reply to email address, and this is where any responses to your email will go. So you want to make sure this is going to go to someone who can answer any questions that might come up from your email campaign. I'm going to go ahead and click Next, and this is where you get to select the email editor you're going to use. The email wizard is the one that we recommend, and this one is a basic templating system. We have about 700 templates in our system. We have a little drag and drop formatting, and then also a toolbar that works a little bit like using Word. This is the one that I'm going to show you in just a few minutes. We also have the email canvas, which is a more sophisticated version of the wizard. It has the same 700 templates available. It has a toolbar just like the wizard, but there's more that you can do with the toolbar. And this one also gives you access to the HTML code. So if you do know HTML, you can go in and make edits to it through here. Freeform is for advanced users, and the reason for that is this one doesn't have templates. Somebody on your side, it doesn't have to be you, but someone has to write all the code for the email, and all you're going to do is copy and paste it into a box for this one. Text only is just a plain text email. There are no images in this one, so that means there's no open tracking, but we are able to track clicks on links. So if you do choose to do a plain text email, make sure you include some links so you get some reporting. But I'm going to go over here and pick the wizard, and then I'm going to go ahead and select Next. Now this drops me right where I can select the template that I want to use, and like I said, we have a lot. So they're broken down by categories here. There's a couple pages, and then each category has lots of different ones to select from. The thing you want to keep in mind when you're selecting your template is, are you trying to match something? For example, are you trying to match your template to your website or to a brochure or something like that? If you are, I would normally recommend using one of these that say fully editable. And the reason is, these will allow you to make changes to all the background colors and the images. The other ones will allow you to change some but not all of the pieces of the template. So all you're going to do when you're looking at these fully editable ones is look at the layout, not the colors or the picture. So this one has a narrow column on the left-hand side, and then most of the content is here on the right. It does not matter what you feel about this light bulb because you can change it. Same with this one. You don't have to love this fire extinguisher. All you're doing is looking at the layout. There's a narrow column on the right-hand side on this one, and then most of the content on the left. This one has a text box at the top, and then there's 2 columns underneath that. So it doesn't matter how you feel about the color scheme or the picture, you can change all of those. Just look at the layout. Now, if you don't want to spend a lot of time changing the template, you can also pick a template that you like. And that's what I'm going to go do here. I like to demo this one. Now on this one, this right-hand column is built in. I can't change this. I can't change the picture of the images or the color, but I did pick this from education, so I'm probably okay with books. But on this one, I can change this background color. So I'm going to go ahead and click Select Template. And this is going to bring up my template. And I can start editing it right now. So the drag and drop formatting that I talked about are these content blocks over here on the left-hand side, which we already have set up in the templates. And that's what this is. These are all content blocks. And you can use them or you can get rid of them. So if you don't want the ones we put in there, just click the little red dot and you can delete them. You can also move them around, and you can also grab them from over here. So if I want an article with an image, I can just pull it over. I can add a horizontal line or any of these. You can add as many of these as you like to your email. The one thing you want to keep in mind is that your recipients may not make it to the bottom of a very long email, so you probably don't want to add too many of these. Once you have the content block set up and your email looks the way you want it to look, you can start adding your text. And you can just start typing. You don't have to click on anything, just start typing in the box. If you've written your email outside of vertical response, copy the text that you've written and then use this paste from Word button. paste your text in, and then click Add Content, and our system's going to pull out any of the unusual formatting that might come up from something like Word or something like that. You may not know exactly what happens when you pull something straight out of Word, but it doesn't use all HTML for the formatting. So if you paste it into something like an email or a website, you end up with some strange characters in the middle of the word. So this is just going to keep you from having that happen. Otherwise, using the toolbar will work like just about any any text editing tool you've ever used. So you can bold, italicize, underline, strike through. You can change the color of your text. You can change the alignment. You can change bullets or add bullets. You can change the size of your font, and you can even change your font style. Now, if there's a certain font style, size, or color that you want to use throughout your email, instead of highlighting all of these sections, clicking on all these drop-down menus, highlighting the next one, what you can do is come to the top, click on Overall Style, and Body Text will allow you to change the text in the whole email. So I could change my font to Georgia throughout my email. Now it's all Georgia. I can also change the size of my text from here for the whole email, as well as the color. And this is a color picker. So if you click on this box, this gray box right here, you can pick any color for your text, whatever you want to use. Heading text and article title text are for these content blocks down here. And this content box on this template is the background color you can change. So this one only has one, but the fully editable ones would have like 3 or 4 different boxes here for you to change the colors on. Again, this is a color picker, so I can just click on it and I can select any color I want to use for my background. And now it's changed. So just a couple other things. First of all, it's really easy to add links in the email, and I would definitely encourage you to do that. Your recipients want to go to your website, and hopefully your email is encouraging them to do that. So make it easy and give them plenty of links to do that. So all you have to do is highlight the text that you want to use for your link. Click the little icon that looks like a chain, and then type in your URL. I'm going to go to vertical response there. Our system automatically sets it up as a link for you, and once it goes out, your recipient can click on it, and our system will track the clicks on that, so it becomes part of the reporting. You can also link images, and I would definitely encourage you to do that. So let's pretend this is a nice image right here. Just select it, click the same icon, type in, again, whatever URL you want, and now my image is clickable, and we're going to track the clicks on that as well. So speaking of images, I do have my picture of Alcatraz. And just to point out, these are placeholder images. They're just here to give you an idea of where you can put an image. You don't have to put one there. You don't have to listen to us. Put your image anywhere you like. So even in just this plain text box, I can click on the image in the toolbar, and I can go into my library and grab that picture of Alcatraz. Now this brings up the image properties window, and there's a couple things to talk about here. First of all, you have one more chance to resize your image before you move on. And just like the Pixlr tool, we have the Keep Proportions option here. So again, I can change the width of my image, and the height will change for me automatically so that my image doesn't get squished looking. Alignment has to do with where your image sits in relation to the text. So right now I have no alignment, and my image sort of floats over my text. If I select right, that's going to pull my image to the right, and then the text wraps around it. If I select left, again, the image goes to the left, and then the text wraps around that. Now you'll notice when I choose this option, my text is running right into my image, which makes it a little hard for people to read. So that is where spacing comes in. I can add a little bit of space around my image, and then now my text doesn't run into it anymore, and it makes it easier for my recipients. Alt text is the last box on this window, and this is an interesting one. So alt text was originally created for people with visual visual impairments who are using a screen reader. The screen reader would read the alt text, and they would know what the image was. The interesting thing that happened is when email programs started blocking images by default, and hopefully you know that they all pretty much do that these days, instead of showing a broken image icon, they started showing alt text. So alt text is another way you can reach your recipients with a little more information about what's going on in your email, even if they haven't seen the images yet. They will only see alt text when the images are turned off. As soon as they click the link to turn them on, they won't see the alt text anymore. So this should be something that's encouraging or something that's part of your email, something that will make them want to turn on the images or click on a link or something like that. So I'm going to type something in here. And that might be something that my recipients find really compelling and at least interesting enough to turn on the images. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save Image, and there's my picture of Alcatraz. So just two more things and I'm going to send this out. So first of all, here is the personalization that I talked about during the list upload. You can personalize with the first name. So this email, this is already built in here. It'll say, "Hi Bob" or "Hi Sally" or whatever the name of your recipient is. This is the default. If you're missing the first name for some of your recipients, instead of leaving a blank spot, you can set up a default. So for some people, this might say "high valued customer," and for others, it'll say whatever their first name is. You can do this for any field from your mailing list. So let's say, using my example that I'm a winery, and I was using the opt-in form to collect my recipient's favorite wine type, I could merge that data into my email. So maybe my email says something like, "Hi Bob, your favorite Chardonnay is on sale this week." If I want to merge that data in, I just type out my sentence, click where I want the merge field to go to Insert, and everything from email address down are fields from the list. So even my custom fields are in here, and so I can pull in my wine field. Our system's going to set up all the technical stuff for you, so all the curly brackets and everything, and then you just put in your default value. So I'm going to do bubbly, so everybody likes that. So now my email is going to say, "Hi Bob, your favorite Chardonnay is on sale this week." If I don't have Bob's favorite wine in my list yet, instead of just leaving a blank space in the middle of that sentence and leaving it to not make any sense, the default will say bubbly, so it'll say, "Hi Bob, your favorite bubbly is on sale this week." That way your email still makes sense, and you can personalize it for people with the data that you have. We also have these social sharing buttons up here. This allows your recipient to share your email on their social network. So this will allow them to share your email on their Facebook page, for example. Putting your email in front of people who probably aren't already on your mailing list. So exposing your business to some new, fresh people who might be interested in what you're doing. And they'll be able to see the email, they'll be able to click on links and do whatever you're trying to get people to do with your email. This is built into the system. You also will be able to see reporting on these buttons, so you're going to be able to see who's clicking on these buttons to get a little more insight into your recipient's social media use as well. You can move these. Generally, I recommend not turning them off, though. You can move them to another spot in the email, just because it's something that is a free marketing tool for you. Other people can share your email on social media, and that gives so much benefit to you. You don't have to work quite as hard to get everything out there in front of new people. So once your email is ready to go ahead and click Next. And on the next page, we're going to preview and test the email. So first of all, here's my email. Here's my picture of Alcatraz. We're also creating a text backup for you. And you can edit this on the design step. Make sure it's easy to read and there's links for people who are getting the text version. But you are able to edit this. Our system just pulls in the text from the graphical version of your email. At the bottom of the page, you need to send a test. And you can create however many lists you need. And each list can have up to 10 addresses. Now, these are test emails. Do not put your actual recipients on these lists. You want to send this to people who are going to give you some feedback about your email. Once you send your email out, your recipients will get whatever they're set up to get, a graphical version or a text version. On the test, we're sending both graphical and text so that you can see what it looks like in the inbox. And that's why you want to make sure it's not going to your recipients, because they'll get confused with two emails. Click Next, and you'll be able to select your list. So here's the list I uploaded today, but you can select as many lists as you like. There's no limit, And if you select more than one, our system automatically will dedupe your list. So we'll pull out any duplicates so that your recipients only get one email no matter how many lists their email address is on. I'm going to click Next. And the last page is the Send page. There's a couple things to go over here. First of all, you get to schedule when you want your email to go out. And the default is as soon as possible, but you can schedule it to go out up to 4 months in advance. We have all these little drop-down menus and a calendar. So you can schedule your email to go out when you want it to. You're also able to share your email on your own social networks. Again, probably putting your email in front of people who may not necessarily already be on your mailing list. If you have a company page, you can post it to your company page. I would definitely encourage that. Give you additional posts on your social media. You can also post it to your personal profile. You can do one or neither, whatever you want to do. And you can post to Twitter. You can set up your Facebook and Twitter accounts here just by clicking on this link account. And this pops open a separate window, so you don't actually have to leave this page. So you can set up your social sharing from this page, and then you don't have to leave it once it's ready to go. Our system pulls in the subject line and then creates a short URL for the post. At the bottom of the page here, we have Google Analytics. So if you're using Google Analytics on your website, Vertical Response does have some built-in analytics, and you'll see Vertical Response will show up in your Google Analytics traffic sources as people leave your email and hit your website. So you'll be able to see that through Google Analytics. We're going to show you how many people you're mailing to. I had some duplicates in there. And then at the bottom of the page, we're going to talk about the payment. So there's two ways to pay in our system. We have pay-as-you-go, which is the way this account is set up. And so you're going to need email credits in order to mail out. An email credit is like putting a stamp on an envelope. So for every email address in the list you're mailing to, you need to have an email credit. So my list has 230 addresses. I need 230 credits in order for me to mail this. An email credit is good for a year, so you can purchase them in bulk. The more you purchase, the lower the per email prices, and then they sit in your account and you just use them as you need them. Credits start at 1.5 cents, and then they drop from there, so they're pretty inexpensive. The other option for payment in our system is the flat monthly rate. So the flat monthly rate takes your master list from the list section. I told you that was going to come back. Your master list size will fall into a pricing tier. You'll pay one fee each month and then mail as often as you like. And it's up to you which one you want to do. When you're up here in the top right corner, it has this Buy Now button. This will give you the option to compare the two different pricing systems and pick the one that's going to work for you. Generally speaking, if you have a smaller mailing list or you mail once a month or less, the pay-as-you-go will be a better option for you. If you have a larger mailing list or you mail at least twice a month, then the flat monthly rate will be a better deal for you. But again, it's entirely up to you which one you want to do. Also, if you are a 501c3 nonprofit, we do have a special program for you. You do need to fill out a form at our website, but then once you've done that and if everything looks good, we give you 10,000 email credits each month free for you to send out your emails. So if you're a 501c3 nonprofit, I would encourage you to go fill that form out. So once everything looks good here, go ahead and click Send Email. There we go. And your email would go out, or mine's going to wait until October, and then it'll go out. So let's go take a look at the sent info. So this is where you get all your reporting. So this is kind of an overview from here. You can see the emails you've sent out, and then you get an overview of the reporting, your opens, clicks, bounces, all of that information. If you click on the name of your email, you get more details. And from here, you can see, again, this is an overall performance. You can see the opens, clicks, bounces, and unsubscribes. As I said, we track the clicks on those social sharing buttons, so you're going to see how many times they were clicked on. We're going to show you the links that we're tracking, how many times they were clicked on. We also give you a comparison at the bottom of the last emails you've sent out. This is just to give you an idea of how your email marketing is doing. But if you go to the top of the page, oops, hitting the wrong thing there. to the Reports tab, you can actually set up comparisons of specific emails. So if you're doing A/B split testing or you're testing things in your emails in general, you can compare specific emails instead of seeing whatever you've just sent out. Here on the left-hand side under Email Actions is Download Lists. And this is where you get to see the specifics. So you get to see who opened your email and the time and date that they opened it, who clicked on a link and the time and date. Same with the Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn buttons. You can see who clicked on the Facebook button and the time and date, again giving you some insight into social media use by your recipients. We also have our own analytics. So in addition to the Google Analytics, you can also track purchases that are made through your email. So in addition to everything else, you can also see who's making a purchase from your email, the time and date that they purchase, and how much they spent, so you can see how effective your email marketing is. This just requires a snippet of code that we give you in order for us to track the purchases being made. You also have another chance to share your email if you want to on your own social platforms. Again, we pull in the subject line, and then this is a hosted version of the email. This link, it gets pulled in there, and then everyone can see your email on whatever account you share it on. So this is where you can fill in your company name and, your postal address, and our system pulls that data into that first step of creating an email. So fill this in, and then most of that's going to be taken care of for you already. You can set up social sharing here if you like instead of on the send page. Works the same way. You have to click on those links. The analytics is where Google Analytics is, and this is really all done on Google's side. So you need to do all the stuff they tell you. When they tell you everything is good, come in here and add the domain where you put their code, and then you'll be able to see vertical response under the traffic sources in Google Analytics. Under the Click to Conversion tab here is where you can find the purchase tracking. So on this drop-down, you go to Click to Conversion and ROI Calculator, and then this is the snippet of code you need to track purchases in your email. We also have a help site, and so now that you have watched the demo, we do have the help site. So if you forget how to do something like adding an image in your email or uploading your list, we have them set up here in these different sections. There are videos, which are like 2 minutes long. You don't have to hear me talk for an hour again. Or there's text tutorials, so you can go in and take a look at how to put an image in your email or how to upload your list. And this is available to you all the time. Also, at the bottom of every page in your account is this Need Help link, and this will put you in touch with our support team. So if you want to ask them a question, they're happy to answer. You can send them an email. You can give them a call, and we also have a live chat feature, which is sort of like IMing. So you can send them a quick question, and then they'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.